Welcome to the channel, everyone. I'm Skratch. This is another Warcraft Rumble video. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. In today's video, guys, we're going to talk about the top 5 best well-rounded tanks in Warcraft Rumble. We're not really going to focus only on PvE or on PvP. We're going to talk about the top 5 best tanks overall in general that will really bring a lot of utility to your deck. First, I just want to say a big thank you to Blizzard for sponsoring today's video. And if you guys want to download Warcraft Rumble, you can do so by clicking the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. First, I want to start with one of the newest tanks that were added to the game from the Cenarion family, guys. Now, this one, unlike the others, works completely different because it will consume your entire gold when you are deploying him. And this is the Ancient of War. Pretty good stats overall, and they will get multiplied with every single level, basically, based on the amount of gold that you are using when you're summoning the leader. So overall, he's pretty crazy. I've seen him doing some insane things when I summon him with 10 gold. It's not something that you really want to do very often because it really depends what you're fighting. You know, you do need to offer him some support, some damage dealers to help him with the flying units, etc. You know, but overall you can definitely get a lot of value from this tank. He is single target melee, and what I do like about him, he does have some pretty interesting talents. So if played for 4 or less, gains 60% attack speed, which is nice. If played for 6 or more, gains siege damage. And with lightning rod, if played for 4 gold or more, which is my favorite, it will redirect all of the enemy spells and unbound units to his location. So that is absolutely massive for PvP. Just imagine when you have a massive wave of troops going towards the enemy, then you deploy the Ancient of War on the other side. He's trying to use a Blizzard spell or a Polymorph spell or anything like that, or an unbound unit like a Safe Pilot or something. They will be deployed to his location. So this gives you a massive advantage on the battlefield, to be honest with you guys. Moving over to the next one, this is a pretty cheap tank. It's one of the cheapest tanks in the game that really has a lot of firepower beneath the belt. So we're going to talk, of course, about the gold. He costs only 2 gold. He is an undead, and overall it's nice that he can actually replenish life when he kills an enemy, you know, and he devours them. That definitely enables him to stay alive longer. The problem is you do need to give him a lot of reinforcement if you want to keep him alive. But at 2 gold cost, is definitely a very solid tank, especially for PvP, guys. Just because it's so freaking cheap to deploy him, it really gives you a massive advantage. Now, in terms of talents, you do have quite a few different options. You have Bone Shield, which grants armor for 10 seconds after you basically cannibalize somebody. Then you have Ravenous. This will grant you Bloodlust for 10 seconds. Or you have Taste for Blood. Deals 50% additional damage to enemies who are below 50% health. That's a pretty nice one too. I actually have Ravenous at the moment. I'm not really sure if getting Taste of Blood would benefit him more. Dealing that extra damage is very nice though. So if you have some reinforcements with him, ensuring that you're quickly going to take the targets under 50% HP, you can definitely gain a lot of value from this tank. But 2 gold, guys, you know how it is. You want to use as little gold as possible on your troops in PvP. Even though the Ancient of War at 4 gold is actually pretty solid for what he does with that talent. It's actually massive, you know. So you do have to keep that in mind as well. There are quite a few different tanks that have not made my top 5, to be honest with you guys. And that's mainly because I just don't feel like they're providing as much value in most of the content, you know. So I've been playing this game now for like 3-4 months now. I can't even remember. Time is just flying. I know a lot of the tier lists out there, they will show you a lot of different things. So I do think that the Gargoyle is actually pretty nice too, but he's not making my top 5, to be honest. He's more situational. I feel like he's very easy to take down, only dealing siege damage, you know. If you can offer him the right support, yeah. But either way, at 4 cost gold, being such an easy target, I'm not feeling it like he is a top 5. Now, another one that in my opinion is a top 5, and that is the Prowler. I feel like he's honestly such an amazing unit. You can, of course, stun the target, and this stuns even bosses in quests and stuff, guys, which is actually massive, you know, because being able to stun the boss is something that you would not expect him to do, you know. But let me just quickly walk you through the rest of the things, then we're gonna go over the talents. Pretty good health. What I do like about him, that he's very fast, he gains stealth. Of course, he's not gonna have the craziest health. He does do pretty decent damage. So overall, he's a very well-rounded unit, in my opinion, being fast and all that, you know. Single target, melee, that's kind of like one of the things. Being stealth, super, super important too. And then, of course, in terms of talents, we have on the prowl, gain stealth and stun the target when attacking from stealth. Then you have pack leader, grants nearby beast allies 30% additional damage. That's actually a pretty nice one too if you're using a lot of beasts in your deck. And then you have predatory instincts, deals double damage to enemies who are at more than 75% health. So that's basically the very first couple of hits. To be honest, on the prowl is definitely more effective with that stun. Being able to stun and do a bit of crowd control, it can definitely turn the battle in your favor. The next one that we have on the list, probably you guys saw me using this tank in pretty much every single freaking video that I've been doing. A lot of people are flaming this fire elemental unit that he's not that great. He might not be the best one for PvP, but for PvE, is definitely one of the best tanks in the game, hands down, okay? He might not be number one, but he's definitely number two, okay? Super effective. What I really, really like about him, he does have medium speed, very good health, decent damage, and the main thing is that he is AoE, guys, okay? Deals AoE damage, so when you have waves of enemies coming towards him, he just wipes them off. And he has some very, very interesting talents as well. So I actually have two of them purchased at the moment. My favorite one is Immolation Aura. Periodically deals damage to nearby enemies. So sometimes it doesn't even need to hit the enemies. Just this will generate enough damage to kill maybe a wave of chickens or something like that. So very, very effective in PvE. And I am using him extensively in PvP as well because he is my highest level. And I'll be very honest with you guys. A lot of them are really, really struggling to deal with him, you know. Molten Core on that summons a pool of lava, damaging enemies within. I'm not a big fan of this one because most likely the enemies will move from there, and while they will pass through the Molten Core, usually it's just not enough to kill them. And then you have Fan the Flames, staking elemental damage, increases damage dealt by 10%, stacking up to 30%. Now, while we do have a lot of characters that deal elemental damage, I feel like it's very situational, and sometimes you might not get any value out of this talent, to be honest with you guys. And moving over to the next one, guys, this is actually equipped on my deck right now, and that is the Stonehoof Tauren. Very, very strong tank, deals tons of damage, very good survivability, and it can stun as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Single target, of course, melee, charge, which just bashes into the enemy, and most likely it will kill it if it's not another tank or a very strong unit, you know. Medium speed, very good health, very good damage. As you may notice, the damage is actually really, really good. So, an exceptional beefy bruiser that will charge into battle. The charge will kill, for example, a troll, or will kill a unit that's kind of like at a similar level. So what I have in terms of talents, guys, I have the Pummel. After connecting a charge, stuns the target for 3 seconds. Then we have Momentum. After connecting a charge, immediately charges a second time if possible. So this, again, is very, very situational because sometimes there might not be other enemies in range. So you're not really going to get any value out of this. That's why I prefer to go with the one that stuns 3 seconds, basically free damage on that enemy. And then you have the Provoke. After connecting a charge, taunt nearby enemies, which is not a bad one either. But in most of the situations, the enemies that are nearby are already focusing on her, you know. So super, super solid tank as well. But this will be my top 5 best tanks in Warcraft Rumble as it stands today. Now, of course, I do love a lot the Quilboar, guys. Super, super awesome unit. I like a lot this Harvest Golem as well. Low level. I haven't really got to use him as much as I would like to. I know that it's nice that he can revive and be super annoying. But overall, I feel like he's just literally tanking and doing nothing else in the process. He's super slow. I don't tend to be the biggest fan of the super slow units because they're such an easy prey in general, and they take so long to actually reach the target. Now, as I mentioned, the Quillboar is super, super powerful. I'm definitely a big fan of the Quillboar, and he might be my very first unit that will become legendary, to be honest. Now, the stats on him are not the craziest, okay? He's not like the super beefy type of tank, but he's an unbound unit that costs 2 gold, which will give you a massive advantage if you play him right. So in PvP, let's just assume you're trying to distract the enemy tower. You can just deploy him on the other side while the rest of your units that are more squishy, harpies, or whatever else you might using, are coming from the other flank to basically quickly take down the tower, or enemies, or whatever else it might be. It definitely allows you to do some awesome strategies. But that was all for this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What is your top 5 best tanks in Warcraft Rumble? Do you disagree with my list, or you kind of like agree with it? As usual, appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Thanks again to Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.